Hello, my name is Kevin Downs, and on this episode of Nerd Bytes, we're going to cover proactive infrastructure monitoring with New Relic. As a DevOps, SRE, or IT ops person, I'm going to look to New Relic to help me proactively troubleshoot my IT infrastructure. I have New Relic 1 open and focused on Explorer, where I'm looking at all my favorites. I usually like to start with a high-level view of my applications, so let's go to Lookout and see what we can find. Let's select Services APM, where we're presented with throughput, response time, and error rate for all the applications we're monitoring. I see that the web portal application has the largest circle for throughput. Mousing over the circle gives me a little peek into what's going on with that application. Well, Lookout isn't showing me anything that I need to focus on here, so let's dive into infrastructure and see what we can find there, and get proactive. Moving to infrastructure gives me the ability to start looking for places where I can improve my infrastructure. Let's start by using the top filter bar to focus on one specific application, in this case, the web portal application that we looked at earlier. I noticed right away that one of my hosts has a storage usage of 100%. Let's sort these hosts by storage usage. Next, let's select and view all these hosts so we can analyze more about them. Here we see that all the selected hosts have their golden signals on the graph comparing each other. By moving your mouse over each host, we see not only the related entities on the right-hand side, but that host-specific golden signal highlighted within the center column. From here we can look at the network, processes, and storage tabs where we can further dig into these hosts. Going back to the System tab, we can also change the golden signal reference on the left-hand side. So let's view these hosts with their storage usage percentage sorted. The infrastructure interface also offers a lot of in-context actions that you can look at. Selecting the View Logs button will bring you to only the logs for that specific host where you can easily query your logs. Here I'm searching on any log entry that contains root. Back over to the selected hosts, mousing over the icon all the way on the left-hand side will let you know if this host is in an alerting state. Each host is also color-coded and represented by a color dot. This is also the color for the bar graph for each golden signal chart. Next, let's take a look at AutoMap and check out the topology for this specific host. AutoMap shows us the related entities to this host. Here we can see that this host is connected to the web portal, as well as the inventory, login, plan, and fulfillment services. There is also a downstream billing service connected. In the upper left, we can see the health status as well as anomalies that we can turn on or off as needed. The key also shows us which ones are services and which ones are hosts, as well as how relationships are depicted for the hosts or the calls. On the right-hand side are more details about the specific host. You can see activity, tags, golden signal metrics, events, and more for this host. Now let's focus our attention on time warp control in the upper middle. This control represents a 3-hour window where we can scrub backwards and forwards in time to find out when and what had issues. We can see that anomaly started in the fulfillment service at around 5:36 p.m. and about 4 minutes later it went into a critical state. Let's move to the right and check out that second health status grouping. Again, we see that it's a fulfillment service that is having an issue around 6:14 p.m. So let's mouse over that service and select it to bring up its details on the right-hand side. Here we can see that an anomaly was detected and the response time is much different than normal. Let's go back to the main Infrastructure Explorer list view and see if we can be proactive in a different way. Before I move on, let's reset the table and save this view for future use. To save the view, select the Save as View button in the upper right-hand corner of your screen. You can see the filters added as well as how visible to others you'd like this view to be. Give it a name and then click Save View. You'll find your Save Views on the left-hand side of the screen. Let's clear out the web portal filter and continue. Now I'm back to a list that contains all 77 of my hosts. Let's see if we can find any underutilized hosts that we can right size and or consolidate. I'm going to filter the CPU usage golden signal column for any host that has a CPU of less than 1%. This reduces the number of hosts down to 3. From here I'm going to select all 3 and find out what services or components these hosts are related to. Viewing these selected hosts shows that 2 of these hosts are related to the login and web portal services. More than likely, my autoscaling group is using instances that are very underutilized, and this would be a great place to make sure that I'm not launching instances that are overpowered for my needs. Let's switch gears and go back and reset the table. This time, let's focus on memory utilization. Let's filter all the hosts for any ones that have greater than 70% memory utilization. This leaves us with 5 hosts, but if you look carefully, you'll notice that only 3 hosts have a CPU utilization below 20%. So let's select those 3 and see what we can find. We see here that 2 of these hosts are related to the Proxy West and Proxy East entities. Notice that the Proxy East service is also in a critical state. In any case, finding hosts that have a high memory utilization might be a place where you can look at the instances being launched and make sure that it's a memory optimized instance. I hope you've enjoyed this walkthrough of the New Relic Infrastructure Monitoring user interface. Look for other Nerd Bytes videos from New Relic.